Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right! I forgot about that!
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well.
Objection! Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim.
Objection!
Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Goto, it would prove that it's your blood.
Nice theory, Troy. Order! Order in the court!
Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of the scientific test.
Ha! Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I'd be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
What?
Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already a bloodstain on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes? What does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it.
It can't be!
In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance.
What?
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness, continue your testimony.
Hold it! Well, wait a minute!
What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in this explanation.
Maya?
The dagger, he said it was one of the killer.
That's right.
But if Godak really had been cut with a dagger, his clothes should have been bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Maya, maybe he just changed his clothes. That solved the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back in the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple inside got trapped there.
Oh, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple...
Mr. Goda was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Order! Order in the court! What the witness says...
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
What? No one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he couldn't get any blood on them.
Objection! That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. Huh. So, that's all you've got. I knew you were tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already.
If Mia Fey were here...
So come on, Trite, can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godo of being the killer, but can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it!
Huh. That's good. A fighter to the bitter end, right? Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty?
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godo? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite.
So what do we do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
Alright then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a bloodstain on his clothing.
There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say?
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there was no bloodstains on the clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound? Huh. I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite?
What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. We're living on through him?
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Right there! It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godo, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved.
Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago. You helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Koda!
But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me.
Yourself?
I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head-on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit.
But you saved Maya!
Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway.
But what? What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's only one person I should have gone and talked to right away.
What would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason?
No, why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me.
You're wrong! You put your life on the line to save Maya!
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure.
What do you mean by that?
That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw a silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. Could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point.